I'm in a slightly different location and I'll tell you for why. Because it's Friday night and I'm working a little bit later. So it is 6:30, just about 6:20, and it's Friday, but I still have a little bit of work to tidy up before I can finish for the weekend. But having said that, I've worked pretty hard today. I've worked hard all week actually, and I thought, oh man, all week in my evenings I would normally film a video to then get scheduled and ready to go, and I haven't, and it's Friday, and I haven't done it, and I like to set that as my goal, to make sure I film something one evening and then I edit it throughout the evenings in the week, and I haven't done that. So I'm having a little break of social scheduling for my day job and looking through, I've got some winter Nike stuff to look through, and I'm having a break from it, and I thought I'm going to film that video that I want to film. So here we are. Also, in the evenings, now it's winter, the lighting's pretty good in here, like you can tell me it's pretty good, right? Right, this week I am talking about training around your period. Now, I don't know when this is going to go out because I've got quite a few videos ready to go. So I don't know when you see this, but at this moment, where I am in my cycle means that I have just come off my period. And today I had a personal training session and it was banging. And I really need to burp. Thanks, I just drank some squash pretty quickly. It was banging and I was so ready. I even added on 10 burpees at the end because I felt so ready, and I have felt pumped all day. I have felt banging all day, and it got me thinking about why that was, and it's basically because of where I am in my cycle. Well, no, there's a few reasons about it, but I thought it was about time that I would do a video about training just around your period and just after your period. There's a high chance that this would, I could do it as a series, or I could just do it as a lowdown. What do I do? I'm just going to go with it and see how much I talk about it. But I thought it was about time that I talk around training around your cycle. When I was a personal trainer, I had no idea how important it was and how much we change as females depending on where we are in our cycle. We should actually be changing up our training depending on where we are in our cycle. So just before our period, for example, we shouldn't be aiming for PBs because we're probably not going to get them. And it just has blown my mind. And the past few months, and obviously if you don't know, I have had 3 cycles of my period now, but I did suffer from amenorrhea for 2.5 years, that it has just completely blown my mind, and I feel like everyone needs to know. I feel like this is a public service announcement about what I'm about to say. Ladies, you should change your training weekly depending on where you are in your cycle. Everyone stop. Bojo, get on telly at 8 p.m. and tell everyone. Calm. You can tell I've just been sat at my desk all day talking to no one, can't you? So I'm going to give you the lowdown, and then if you can, please like and subscribe to my YouTube video if you're on this. If you could tag a friend, share it to your own Facebook pages, just so every female can find out about this shit. And if you're on Instagram, then again, to share away, tag your mates, because we should all know. And then I feel like this information will stop us beating ourselves up when we head to the squat rack. Not that I do this very much, but head into the squat rack and we don't beat last week's score, and then we beat ourselves up and we think we're all horrendous human beings and we should just go hide on a rock. Buckle up, sisters. We're about to go in. I made notes, don't worry. So, training around your period. Now, I don't know whether I should go into in this video, no, maybe not. I'll just quickly do a top line. Did you know our cycles should or could be linked up with the moon cycles? And it's really cool if it is. And I don't mean to brag, but mine's on a new moon now. Anyway, I'm being weird, but I'll go into another video. Right. So you kind of have like a 28-day cycle. Obviously everyone's different, right? And it's completely normal to be different. It also depends on lifestyle factors, what you've got going that month, what you've eaten, that kind of thing will depend upon your cycle length and when you ovulate and that kind of thing, like we're all very different, but on average we have around a 28-day cycle. It's about a month, right? We tend to have a period once a month. Now, day 1 starts when on day 1 of bleeding. So day 1 is when you first start bleeding. Now, it is really high chance that we will have really bad PMS, so we might have cramps, we might feel exhausted, we might feel bloated, we might just want to eat all the chocolate, that kind of thing. That's really normal. Extreme PMS symptoms isn't normal, and I would definitely recommend going to get it checked out, whether you get your hormones checked out or you go to see a dietitian or a holistic therapist to see if they can help release some PMS. I'm a big advocate for acupuncture to help PMS. Really excited I get to go back to acupuncture in a few weeks. Going off topic. At that first 5 days, so like your bleeding days, you may feel really sluggish, and that's completely normal. It's due to our hormone profiles. So in terms of training, just be gentle on yourself. Like, you might fancy some yoga, you might just want to do some walking, you might want to do just some gentle stretching and movement. I think it's still really important that we continue to move the body. But also, don't beat yourself up if all you can do is sit on the sofa. It's really, again, like I said, it's really important that we all remember we are completely different. So if your best mate is fine and can go for runs or whatever while on her period, but you feel you need to sit on the sofa, that's absolutely fine, and you should just honour what you need, but honour it. The reason why your body is tired during this time is because it does need to rest. If you think about what it's doing, it's shedding a lining in your body. It is absolutely fascinating, and this is a really good time during this period to really slow down and really just give yourself enough rest and recovery and self-care. Have a really nice bath, listen to some good vibes, maybe read, that kind of thing. Just really try to come back into yourself and just really relax. Now, what happens after that? Oh, I should really say that because we're obviously bleeding, it's that research suggests that we should really focus on eating iron-rich foods to help with that, because we are losing blood, as well as omega-3 fatty acids, which will help reduce PMS. I will leave all my reference links down below if you want to check that I'm not chatting bullshit. And also, higher carb profile will help the process and also help your hormones. When I say high carb, what they really mean is higher, healthy complex carbs, so whole grains, that kind of thing. But if you do want to reach for the chocolate, we only live once, right? Have a little bit of chocolate. But I do think having a higher carb meal, having higher carb meals during this time will actually help you process what you're going through. Anyway, then some people will either feel mega strong a couple of days after, or it might be the week after their period. Again, obviously everyone's different. But when you come off your period for the next week or so, you will feel incredible, or you should feel incredible. Now, this is where your body is preparing to release an egg, so your estrogen and your testosterone is peaking, and this is the perfect time to start getting shit done. You probably will feel really motivated, you'll probably feel like you've got loads of energy, and it's your time to really reach PB. So strength training, really pushing yourself, going for it, really working on those projects. Is there anything that while you were on your period you kind of put to one side? This is your opportunity to go and get it. This is the go-getter vibe. So for this week straight after your period. So you probably will have a lot more energy. So put it to good use. You'll probably be a bit of a social butterfly. You'll be up for everything, and you'll just be yeah. You can tell this is exactly the stage that I'm at right now. I'm working late and I don't mind. I've got really good energy. I smashed my workout and I was really able to push myself. It's still really important that while you have this energy, that you still are fueling yourself and you're still mindful about that rest and recovery. Just because your hormones are on your side at this point doesn't mean you should neglect everything else. So the reason why I felt so good was because I had a rest day yesterday. I've eaten quite a lot of carbs this week. I had a pre-workout. I had oat and date balls pre-workout. So I had a lot on my side to be able to really push myself. So hormones and where you are in your period is obviously only a little factor. If you are over-exercising or you're under-eating, the energy probably won't be there. So this is, if you're having a normal cycle, I should have maybe said that earlier, if you're having a normal cycle and a class as a healthy cycle and you're feeling pretty good, this is kind of the sorts of trends that you will find around your period. Around this time, go for it, hit those PBs. Did you know the reasons why we can probably go for PBs and stuff is apparently the elevated estrogen and testosterone in our body can help us tolerate a lot more pain. Good to know, eh? Okay, then halfway through your cycle you have ovulation, which if you don't know is when our body releases an egg. And this is the time that your body will want you to have sex. This is the opportunity that your body's like, hey sister, you can have a baby if you want, and you will feel like confident, sexy. You'll probably have a slight increase in libido, and your estrogen and your testosterone will be pretty high at the same time. So your testosterone will increase your libido, and then the increase in estrogen will cause some kind of like egg whitey mucus. This is a sign of your fertile window. So this is a really good opportunity if you want to have a baby to have sex, basically. So if you have like egg whitey discharge, then it's time to get funky, if that's what you want, obviously. If it's not what you want, then you better be careful. So in terms of workouts, this is where like high impact workouts are really good, and you're still like in like pretty good form, so you probably could reach for a few PBs, and you'll probably start to feel where you're feeling like a little bit more like sexy and sociable and stuff. Group workouts is a really good opportunity here. I often find like when I'm due on or something like that, I hate group workouts, whereas when I'm feeling like really good, so like those 2 weeks in the middle of the month, so around like ovulation time, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll train with you, yeah, I'll do that. So yeah, during ovulation that will be a good opportunity. So high impacts, like go for it. If you're still into weight training, like go for it. See, go for it, sweat. And it says that around ovulation we're one of our strongest, but we also do need to be careful because around ovulation we are more prone to injury. Then around ovulation, so after ovulation, we may start to feel a little bit sluggish. I don't know about you, but I actually get a few period pains around ovulation, which is obviously like the egg releasing. And then just a few days after, I just feel a little bit PMS-y. Apparently this is pretty normal. And that is when our bodies like have said, oh, okay, you're not going to be a mum. No worries. If you don't want that right now, no worries. So progesterone starts to rise. I think I've got this right. And so we might start to feel like a little bit sluggish and a little bit tired. Just honour it, gals. This is where like group classes are a really good opportunity around here, because they won't be as intense as like trying to reach PBs. So maybe like pre-ovulation, reach PBs, post-ovulation, maybe go to like a body pump class, that kind of thing. And then after ovulation, so in between ovulation, so just after ovulation and before our period, this is a time for us to really start to slow down and really start to reflect. So pre-ovulation is all about the go-getter and the manifesting and the go, and then post-ovulation is when we start to reflect and withdraw, and this is where it works around the moons, but I'll save that for another video. So what happens here is estrogen really drops and so what happens here is estrogen drops and progesterone increases as you have decided that you're not pregnant, or your body has realised that it's not pregnant, should I say. And this is where we will start to see a bit more PMS symptoms. So our mood might dip, we might feel a bit more tired, we might get a few period pains, our skin might break out, we might feel as if we're really craving those like carby, sugary foods. That's because of the progesterone. So when it comes to our diet, just making sure that we are fueling ourselves and eating enough, and not opting for the low carb, which would then lead to a binge, because our body does need those symptoms. Our body temperature rises just before our period. So our body temperature and our metabolic rate rises just before our period. So it's normal to crave those carby, sugary foods. So instead of maybe like chomping off a massive, huge bar of Cadbury's every single day, just making sure that you're kind of drip feeding your body with really good whole grain carbs. That'll just help keep your energy up. Yeah, so around here will probably be a time that you can't really be bothered to socialise. It's a time that your mates will be like, hey, do you want to go out? And you're like, oh God, do I have to? You kind of want to stay at home and get cozy. In terms of like the season, if you picture it's like autumn, so everyone's like wanting to get a little bit cozy, have a few more baths and just really like recuperate and start to look after themselves. When it comes to training, this is a really important time that we start to like dial back that training. We probably won't have the energy that we did like a week or so ago, so it's just important to like really be kind on ourselves. If you are really into strength training, like a deload week would be ideal right now. And obviously I wouldn't recommend like stop moving your body. Still move your body, but just be really mindful on what you're doing and just really listen to it. You might want to do it in terms of really light workout classes. So whether it's like a bar class, like start to really lower your intensity in terms of workouts. And just be a little bit kinder to ourselves. It's a really good time for reflection and just to start be kinder to ourselves. And we don't want to put too much stress on the body, because soon we're about to become day one in our cycle and we will bleed again, which is the time for us to really like nurture ourselves. So it's just about starting to dial back that intensity. And in terms of food, we obviously want to make sure that we're eating quite high iron foods and warming and comforting foods, just to help us prepare for our period as well. And I have given so, and then the next thing we know, we're back to day one and we're flowing again, because that is the life of a female. And I'm still very much in, I will always appreciate the female body, especially I just keep learning more and more and more, and it just blows my mind that we weren't taught about this at school. But it is mental, isn't it, that we have a period every single month, like every month without fail. And I also think it's really strange that we just don't really talk about it, do we? Like as society, it's not really spoken about. It's like a dirty thing that we should all keep secret, but it's actually just something that we cannot help. And also we can't help it when we're grumpy. Like physically cannot help it because our hormones fluctuate. Imagine like guys don't have the same like that we do. So when, I don't know, I think that this, it's just given me a whole new like perspective on like when you hear someone go, oh, you're miserable because you're on the blob. It's like, there's no need to get offended by it. It's just factual. Yes, I'm a miserable cow and you are getting right on my last tit because of my hormones and I'm during my period. So be nice to me. So yeah, that's my video on periods, training and food and where our hormones are at. It is completely normal to not have the energy every single week. So sometimes following these like 8-week plans that progress isn't actually that great for us females, because our hormones fluctuate so much, and I find that we can often beat ourselves up that we're not achieving anything and we're not achieving these goals. So yeah, that's my video on it. And maybe even show your boyfriend and stuff, just so they understand like it's really normal, and and like all the men in your family, that it's completely normal for us to be miserable just before our period, and actually what we should be doing is resting and recuperating, and they should want to rest and recuperate us and like stroke our hair and be nice and buy us flowers and stuff, because we can't help it. It just is what it is. It's the hormone body. It's the female body. We get to reproduce, and until we, isn't it mad actually? I've just thought that like on average people have like 2 to 3 kids, right, in their whole life, but they still have to have a period once a month. That's dramatic. Just for 3, potentially 3, 4. Like you don't really hear of many more than 4 kids. So say 4 is the maximum that most people have, right? 4 times in your life, you're going to utilize what happens to us every single month for our whole lives until menopause, right? That's mad, isn't it? Mental. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful. Like I said, I'll leave the links below. If you don't agree with any of this, then sorry if I've overstepped the line and I've stepped out of my path, and there's more professionals that like know this a little bit more. Sorry, I'm just thought I would share what I have learned, and I hope I've done it justice. I just want people to know, look, it's fine. It's fine for your training to change daily, and let's just be kind to ourselves. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, hope you found this video useful. I've been chatting for way too long. It's now nearly 7 o'clock and I've still got some work to do. So have a lovely evening, no day, I don't know when you'll watch this. And please like and subscribe to my channel. I put out videos every single week. Chatting around this kind of shit, periods, manifesting, spirituality, training, food, lack of periods. So anyway, I'm going now. Bye.